What's good? John Public. Big shout out to John Public. Shout out to Kevin Nottingham.com. Thank you for coming through. It's a little setup right here. We're about to get it going.
96, 97, that time is when you got into hip hop. What kind of put you on to the production game and hip hop in general?
Well, I mean, I've always been a fan of hip hop. My father's a musician, so music pretty much just ran in my blood. He played the guitar. I grew up with just music all over. I mean, he had vinyl. I remember he had keyboards from back in the day when I was a kid that he used to use. And I was just fascinated by the whole art form. The first song that I really liked was, and don't laugh, it was Jump by Kriss Kross. And I remember I was in 6th grade when that came out. And they were like my age. I think they were like in 6th, 7th grade.
Yeah, they were like 13 or something.
They were young,
like that.
yeah. So I got into Kriss Kross for a minute. I was totally crossed out. I had the Bad Boys jerseys and all that. Ever since then, I mean, I've just been a fan of hip hop. But as far as producing goes, I think I started really taking it seriously when I was probably around high school. This was like between 96 and 98. The two albums that really got me interested in the art of producing were two albums in particular. Fantastic Volume 2 by Slum Village. Big shout out to Dilla, rest in peace. One of the greatest, you know what I'm saying? And the other album was Pete Rock's Soul Survivor. I learned from them. I studied those albums. I studied all the the production styles and everything, and that's really what got me going. Big shout out to D Prosper and Sha Money. Those are the two that really made that happen for me.
Money Management, right?
Money Management Group. It was weird how it came about because D Prosper was senior A&R for G-Unit at the time. So he literally hit me up on MySpace. He said, I like your style. Send me some beats. I'm looking for beats for MOP 50, blah 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 blah. So I was amped at the time. I was like, okay, cool. So I put together a zip file of like 30 beats, like 30 of my hottest joints. I sent them over to D. And then a few days later, him and Sha hit me up like, we're interested in signing you to Money Management.
Wow.
So after that, one thing led to another. I was like, well, let's make it happen. So I've been cool with them ever since. Both D and Sha, they looked me out. So all those new tracks that you hear from like 50 and M and LL, that's all Sha and D. There's definitely things in the works coming out in the near future that.
With the Shady Camp or?
With the Shady Camp, the Aftermath Camp, all those guys. I'm always making heat for them and sending them over. So it's it's kind of like Lotto. A lot of people don't know that the producing game really is Lotto. You make your shit and then you send it over, and then it's just a matter of what gets picked, what doesn't, what goes here, what works. But as long as you're delivering heat.
Who do you want to work with coming out, and what kind of talent is on your radar, personal radar?
There's a good handful of people that I really want to work with still. Obviously the usual suspects like Jay-Z and Nas and all those guys. I would love to do more stuff with them. You know what I'm saying? Have them come out on either a mixtape or an album. I really can care less. You know what I'm saying? Like
right.
Just being able to work with those guys is cool. I mean, who wouldn't want to? But there's a good handful of people that I'm really looking for. One dude is Drake. By now, most people out there probably know who he is. But my man Rook from Justice League put me on the Drake like 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago, and I was completely blown away by him. And I knew he'd go places. So I kind of saw him grow. He got with Wayne and got his name out there. After Degrassi. that whole thing.
Right.
He's just he's one of the illest cats right now to me.
He could sing and he could rap. It's
and
like
he can sing, right?
You know.
So he's got kind of the complete package. You know what I mean? So I would love to work with Drake. A lot of the people that I like, to be honest with you, are people that I'm working with right now. You know, like Emilio Rojas, Skyzoo, my man Natural. These are the up and comers that I feel like are the best doing it right now. You know, and I've built relationships with them a long time ago. You know, seeing them come up. You know, really just in general, man. I just want to work with people who are hungry, talented. You know their business, know how to just handle themselves. You know what I'm saying? And especially artists that know how to rock a crowd, because I feel like that's one important element that a lot of artists miss. You know, you can make good songs, but can you perform? Do you have the whole package? And all those guys I named do have the whole package, in my opinion.
No doubt.
So really, anybody who's trying to make some good stuff, you know what I'm saying? I'm down to work.
All right, so courtesy of Kevin Nottingham, he had 2 questions for you. What is the beat you think that right now has defined your career? Like, which one are you most proud of, and which one has sort of, you know, you think like made the name Illmind just pop?
I'd say off the bat, like I'd say probably the shit I did with Little Brother. Either Good Clothes by Little Brother or Nobody Like Me.
Mm-hmm.
That came out in 2005 with Little Brother. A lot of the people that know me through Little Brother, you know. So I definitely got to shout out to him and Nine for giving me the opportunity to work with them. But I have a wide range of stuff. Like the first record, my first placement was with Acrobatic, the Remind My Soul record, and that's an important record to me too, because that was my first placement, and a lot of people surprisingly are up on that record. But my sound is always changing. Like the shit you hear now in 2009 is stuff that I've done 3-4 years ago.
Wow. So
the stuff I'm doing today probably won't come out till 2010 or 11 or 12. You know what I'm saying? That's just how it is. But I'm not mad at that. Wow. I hate that question. It's so hard. Honestly, man, I'd go with Slum Village, Fantastic Volume 2.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's so many old soul records that I can name. There's just an abundance of hip hop records that I can name, that I can bring with me. But I picked that record because that's the one album to me that just I never get tired of. You know, I can play it straight through. It's got some of my favorite, still to this day, some of my favorite beats, you know, ever, production-wise, technique-wise. And I know I would never get sick of it. Plus, I mean, who wouldn't want to bump Fantastic Volume 2 on a deserted island? You know what I'm saying? I got all the fruits and vegetables and food I need. I'm dolo, the weather's nice, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Bump Fantastic Volume 2, why not?
All right.
You know what I'm saying?
Beach music.
Beach music, you know what I'm saying? That's all it is.